Ona, it's so good to be with you today to talk about all of the wonderful things that are going on at Family Compass this year, and also to take a moment to look back to some of the accomplishments from 2023.
We've had so much going on.
Absolutely.
And so much to come.
Yes, absolutely. Well, for our viewers that are not familiar with Family Compass, would you mind sharing us just a high-level summary of Family Compass's mission?
We stop child abuse and neglect before they can happen. And we do that through our in-home mentoring and our community education parenting classes that we do through our partner agencies. And we really stop child abuse because we know the factors that go into it: high levels of stress in the home, a lack of knowledge on healthy parenting, and community barriers. And so those two types of programming address the factors.
Can you provide us or share a quick update about some of the work that's been going on at the agency last year?
It's been a pretty incredible year.
Absolutely.
And it's actually been a pretty tumultuous year.
Yeah.
And we started off the year in January with the loss of one of our dedicated staff members, Amy McShane. She'd been with us for 21 years. And that really set us back.
Yeah.
And everyone had to take a breath and really figure out how we're going to navigate. And we pulled through. We had a lot of support from a lot of different angles. And we really came together as a team and worked our way through that loss. And Amy would have been really proud of us, I know.
Yeah.
And we didn't have any turnover. Nobody left.
Wow, that's a testament to your leadership.
It's a pretty big deal. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you. I think it's really a testament to everyone's commitment to the mission and to Amy's legacy, quite frankly. And so to not have any turnover, it almost feels like we're almost closer than ever.
Yes.
And even on the heels of all of that, we've been able to promote 5 staff from within. And in a shop like ours, that's, we have 23 people. We're small but mighty. We're also tight, and so being able to promote and show growth, that's pretty cool. We hired a new person this year. Through Crystal Charity Ball was able to help us get a new community educator.
Wow.
So it just seems like we continued on this upward trend, and it's been very exciting. And we've done bias and respect work. We've been doing that for a while, but it continued this year. We have 2 staff members who became actual certified trainers.
Wow, that's fantastic.
They did a train the trainer
with
Essence Learning, the National Diversity Council.
Yeah.
And so that was exciting. And we did some leadership seminars this year, and that really helps us be able to all step up. Everyone can be a leader, whether it's in your title or not. That, those leadership skills are so important. And then we also had some fun retreats.
Yes.
And we had Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
we just had a fall retreat in November, and we played Family Feud at the fall retreat. So it's been the year has kind of been like this.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm excited, and in 2023 we welcomed 7 new board members, which is a lot in terms of recruiting and in terms of getting those members acclimated to the board. And so that was really a highlight of our board. Our board is made up of such wonderful people with diverse talents and skills, and all who are working tirelessly to support the mission of Family Compass. Now, Family Compass is doing a lot in the area of fundraising and development.
Of course, yes.
And so I had a lot of fun participating last year in the events and campaigns. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those events that happened last year?
So we started the year with our luncheon in April for Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Month, and that's our annual North Star Luncheon. And last year, Erin Gruel wowed the crowd.
Yes, she did.
Absolutely amazing.
Yes.
That was a fantastic event.
Yep.
And then we also, of course, had our lip sync battle where our SMU students won the fan favorite.
That's right. That's right. That's such a fun event.
And our golf classic.
Yeah.
That's our signature fall event, and it sold out well in advance. And I pulled in biggest net that we've ever had. So
That's fantastic.
I couldn't ask for a better year.
Yeah, and I also know that you also participated in the North Texas Giving Day campaign,
Yep.
and that was also a successful campaign.
Yeah, that was our highest ever for
Yeah.
North Texas Giving Day. So feeling really blessed and thankful and just all of the things for this past year, as much as it has been like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the new initiatives that was spearheaded by the Director of Development, Chad Black, was a podcast, Thought Leaders Lounge.
Thought Leaders Lounge.
And I had the pleasure of being one of the guests during the first inaugural season, is what I will call it, of Thought Leaders Lounge. And it was a fantastic experience. I really enjoyed talking with Chad, and we just really explored how I became involved with Family Compass, why I stay involved with Family Compass, and just some past history about how I got involved with nonprofits in the area. So it's fantastic. But what I really loved was listening to all of the other podcast episodes with guests some of who were board members, but other who are just thought leaders in the area. And so it was really a great inaugural season, and I am looking forward to season 2.
Season 2 is on its way.
Well, I understand that Family Compass also launched a new Giving Society in 2023. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We did. Champions for Families is the name of the Giving Society. Super excited about this as well. And Neva Cochran, who's one of our longtime supporters, a dear friend, she's fantastic. She stepped up and said, I want to be the one to spearhead a new Giving Society.
That's fantastic, and just so thankful for her continued support of Family Compass. I mean, we've talked about a lot of the fundraising and development events that really work to raise money for Family Compass. Can you tell us about how are those funds used? Can you tell us about the programs? How are those funds really implemented and put forth to support the mission of Family Compass?
Yeah, those funds are critical to keeping the doors open, and all of our partners, from foundations to our individual donors to our government partners, all of that combines to make sure that we can keep the mission going forward. And the mission is more critical than ever. And I say this a lot, and every year it seems to just continue to be that prevention has to be the answer. What's happening at the state level is concerning. And so there's been a lot of changes, and it's a mixed bag, frankly. And what's happening is, in brief, the definition of child abuse has been narrowed. And in the narrowing of the definition, that means that less cases will be able to be processed. However, we know that there's not less child abuse.
That's
and
right.
so it means that kids can be falling through the cracks.
Yeah.
And what's happening on our side, on the prevention end of things, is our wait lists are growing.
Yeah.
And we just hit in last year our highest ever, 49 families waiting to get into our home mentoring services.
Wow. Wow.
So that's kind of crushing when you think
Yeah.
about it, and really points to the need to continue to push forward on the fundraising efforts to make sure that we can grow and, really address those waiting lists.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the other thing that's happening at the state level that I don't know that many people are aware of is that the Medicaid issue for the pandemic, what happened with Medicaid is it sort of got frozen in place so that no one got dropped during the pandemic. Well, now that the pandemic has eased, everyone has to re-enroll. There's been like 500,000 families that need to re-enroll.
Wow. Wow.
What happens with the families we're working with is that they don't know because they maybe didn't get the notice, they moved, and so they show up to the doctor with the kids in tow and they don't have their benefits anymore.
Wow.
So that's been a bit of a wrinkle to
Yeah.
work through. And fortunately for us, we've been certified for a couple years. We just got recertified as a certified community partner through HHSC at the state level. And that means that we can, from their own living room, on our own computers, we can sign them up, we can re-enroll them in Medicaid, we can sign them up for state benefits, but we're able to help our families navigate some of the uncertainty and get them back on track. So
That's
we're working on
really, really critical work there. Wow, I'm so excited to hear that we've been recertified so that we can continue to do that.
And it goes to lowering stress in those homes, because when you go to the doctor and suddenly you can't pay for it,
Yeah.
that stress level starts to rise, and we know that there's a direct correlation
Absolutely.
between that and child abuse and neglect. We've looked at our Father's Initiative.
Yes.
I've talked about that
Yes.
before. And we realized a few years ago that dads
Yeah.
needed to be more central to the conversation around parenting.
Absolutely.
And we've seen an uptick now with our initiatives of fathers being involved in our programming.
Yeah.
And we just ran the numbers at the end of the year, and almost 27% of our adult population is dads.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Isn't that cool?
That is.
Yeah.
That's very exciting, because I think I was a member or a new member of the board when you were developing that initiative for fathers. So it's wonderful to see it really take off and really gain some wings, essentially.
That's going to be a push going forward.
Absolutely.
And the thing that's happening really is that families, they're just needing more of our time.
Yeah.
And I think we can all agree, coming out of the pandemic with inflation, and I really feel like there's a shift in mental health where people are struggling, and there's really kind of a dearth of mental health services.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, it means that the families we're working with need more of our time.
Yeah.
So leaning into that and making sure that that quality versus quantity, that's sort of our marker that we keep pushing to make sure that those families get what they need and get it in, dedicated time with us to build, we're building those relationships to change the future for those children for generations to come.
One of my favorite events at Family Compass is the annual holiday party that occurred in December. Can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
Such a fun event, and it's one of the few that in our back to school, those are the ones where the kiddos come and you can be a part. If you're a volunteer or a board member, you can be a part of the festivities, and the holiday party is just the best. We've been doing that.
Yes.
We've been doing it as a drive-through event these past few years. Thank you, pandemic. But it's worked out so well, and they can come through in their cars, and we have volunteers, and we're all wearing antlers and jingle bells and all the things, and delivering presents. Santa's there, and the kiddos can get out and run around and play and get hot chocolate and all of the things, have their picture made with Santa. And so it was a really great event this past year, and the Mavs actually showed up.
That's right. Such a special added touch to this year's holiday party.
Yeah, it made it really festive and really fun for the families.
Yeah. Plans for growth for the staff in 2024.
That waiting list is weighing heavily, particularly on my mind.
Yeah.
So as we look at the upcoming year, we are looking to tackle that waiting list.
Yeah.
That's the biggest pressing need.
Absolutely.
And so that's what we're doing. We're turning to our donors and foundation partners and saying we need to grow. We need to lean into this demand in the community. And so we're planning on hiring and adding a new parent educator under our home mentoring umbrella to the team. And so that's where we're headed, getting them up and running and holding caseloads and trying to chip away at the waiting list so those families can come into services and get the help that they need.
That's so good to hear. It really is. What kind of events and campaigns can we look forward to this year?
Well, of course, our North Star Luncheon, again,
That's right.
will be back on deck in April. So sign up early.
Yes.
We plan a sellout probably months in advance, which is great news for the agency.
Yeah.
And then, of course, our Golf Classic in the fall will happen again. But this year, we're also going to have a new event. So stay tuned for that. The plans are in motion with our mighty development team.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like there are a lot of great things that lie ahead of us. And so it's going to be a really exciting year at Family Compass, I know.
Yes, I'm excited, and I'm excited to see what the board is going to do under your leadership. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to chair the board for the next 2 years. That's really, really exciting for me. But also looking forward to growing the board. As I mentioned, in 2023, we added 7 new board members, and we're looking to add more because we're looking to really really tap into a group of individuals who are really, really passionate about the mission of Family Compass, but that also have diverse skills and contacts and things that they can use to support the agency. So we will continue with growing the board. Also continue with a focus with on diversity, not only diversity within the board, but within the staff, and then also as we look out to our community. So that's also one of the initiatives and focuses for the board. As you mentioned, there is new leadership on the board, as new chair, but then also we have new leaders in several of our officer roles. So I'm just looking forward to working with those individuals and also just the board as a whole. And then finally, the board is just committed to working to support the mission of Family Compass. A lot of great things happening at the agency, and I am looking forward to it.
I am too. As our development director, Chad Black, always says, we can't do this alone.
Absolutely.
It takes a village, and we're just fortunate to have such a wonderful village, including all of you. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.